Welcome to Spectrum TV News at 12. I am Uyai and I can come to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at the major stories. Federal government approves 15 billion naira ICT devices for census. NSCDC deploys 30,000 personnel ahead of Easter celebration. Plus, China moves warships after U.S. hosts Taiwan sigh. We'll bring you details of these stories and more after this moment. Good afternoon. First in the news, Census reports that the federal government has approved 2 contracts worth 15.3 billion naira for the supply and installation of information and communication technology components as well as digital assistance devices ahead of the population and housing census slated for the 3rd through the 5th of May. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, revealed this to newsmen shortly after the Federal Executive Council meeting at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Shehu said among the memoranda that were okayed was the award of about 10.9 billion naira contract for the supply and installation of information and communication technology components for the 2023 population census. According to him, another contract which was approved for the National Population Commission (NPC) was the sum of about 4.4 billion naira for the development and implementation of mobile device management solution for the personal digital assistance devices to be used for the 2023 population census. Meanwhile, the National Population Commission (NPC) will begin building, numbering and household listing by April 17 before the actual census exercise in Kwara State. The State Director of NPC, Saeed Yusuf, made this known in Ilorin. Yusuf said that the building, numbering and household listing were part of the census and would be for 5 days, April 25th through the 30th, after which there would be another training before the 3rd of May census. He added that training of data quality managers was held on the 3rd and 4th of April, while the special workforce training for those that would assist the data managers commenced on the 5th of April and would end on the 7th. From the Red Chambers, Senate has indicted Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited for poor record keeping for crude oil deliveries to Warri Refinery and Petrochemical Company (WRPC), as well as Kaduna Refinery and Petrochemical Company worth 102.6 billion naira. The indictment stemmed from the 2016 Auditor General report submitted and presented by Matthew Ugorinde, which was upheld by the Senate's chamber during the plenary session. Reports say other indicted agencies are the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, National Population Commission, National Agency for the Control of Aid, FCT Area Council Service Commission, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Justice, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, among others. According to the lawmakers, the deliveries of crude oil from Ex-Cravos Terminal for the operation of Warri Refinery and Petrochemical Company and Kaduna Refinery and Petrochemical Company are channeled directly into the WRPC facility. I beg your pardon. From the Green Chambers, the House of Representatives has resolved to transmit a bill seeking to establish a State Security Council to President Buhari for assent. According to the House, the Fifth Alteration Bill 2023 had met the constitutional requirement for an amendment to the relevant parts of the 1999 Constitution. However, the Parliament mandated the clerk to the National Assembly, Sani Tambuwal, to transmit the bill to the President for his assent in line with the provisions of the Act Authentication Act. Recall that the National Assembly had in January transmitted 35 constitutional alteration bills passed by the State Houses of Assembly in concurrence with the National Assembly out of the 44 bills sent to the states. In a separate development, the Presidential Committee on the Review of Number and Strategy for Resourcing Nigeria's Diplomatic Missions Worldwide have submitted its final report. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF Boss Mustafa, expressed confidence that the committee's observations, findings and recommendations would address some of the challenges confronting the diplomatic missions around the world. Mustafa also gave assurance that the report will be presented to President Buhari for endorsement. The SGF noted that the report would also form part of the transition document that will be handed over to the next administration as part of the successes of the present administration. Ahead of Easter celebration, the Federal Road Safety Corps says it has set up more than 200 mobile courts to prosecute traffic offenders during the Easter special patrol operations across the nation. This was contained in a statement by the Corps Public Education Officer BC Kazim. Kazim said the mobile courts were set up towards ensuring a safe and smooth 2023 Easter celebration. According to him, the objectives of the special operations is to reduce road traffic crashes, road traffic fatalities, and road traffic injuries. Meanwhile, the Commandant General CG of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC, Ahmed Audi, has ordered the deployment of 30,000 personnel nationwide to beef up security in the country ahead of the Easter celebration. The CG gave this order at the national headquarters of the Corps in Abuja while addressing personnel on the need for effective policing of the nation against any activities of dangerous elements planning to cause the breakdown of law and order. In a communique, Aldu directed all special forces in the Corps to join forces with the regular officers to ensure a hitch-free celebration across the country. According to him, the massive deployment will cover all public utilities, suspected flashpoints, worship centers, markets, recreational facilities, shopping malls, parks, gardens, and other crowded locations. Moving down to Africa, Uganda's Director of Public Prosecutions has approved corruption charges against Karamoja Affairs Minister Mary Goretti Kitutu over her role in an iron sheet scandal in the northeastern region. The Speaker of Parliament and some cabinet ministers have also been mentioned in the scandal that involved the alleged theft of 5,500 iron sheets meant for disaster victims in the Karamoja region. Meanwhile, the prosecutor said Kitutu, who is currently under police detention, will today be charged in court over corruption. Reports say police have been directed to produce the minister in court for plea taking. She's expected to spend the Easter holiday in Louisa prison, where she will be remanded by the anti-corruption court after being charged. Elsewhere, Sudanese leaders have again postponed the signing of a final agreement to re-establish a civilian government as differences within military factions intensify. Reports say talks continued overnight with negotiations centered on a draft deal that was to be signed today. Sudan has allegedly been in political crisis since October 2021 when the army overthrew a civilian government that ousted long-serving leader Omar al-Bashir in 2019. Last December, the military agreed on a roadmap to hand over power to civilians, but the negotiations have stalled due to disagreements over the unification of the National Army and the dreaded paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, led by the deputy head of Sudan's ruling council, Mohamed Hamdan Daglo. Meanwhile, the spokesman for the talks, however, said they were still determined to reach a consensus with the military. On the foreign scene, China has launched military drills in response to a much-anticipated meeting between Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen and U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. They met in California a week after President Tsai was feted in New York with a leadership award. Reports say Tsai held their strong and unique partnership, and McCarthy said that arms sale to Taiwan must continue. Beijing, in turn, has vowed a resolute response and sent warships into the waters around self-governed island over the years. China has successfully poached many of Taiwan's former allies, whittling down the number of governments that recognize Taipei to just 13.
Their presence and unwavering support reassure the people of Taiwan that we are not isolated and we are not alone. However, it is no secret that today, the peace that we have maintained and the democracy which have worked hard to build are facing unprecedented challenges.
Well, my first message to China, there's no need for retaliation. But the one thing I would say to China, too, at no time, I am the Speaker of the House. There's no place that China is going to tell me and where I can go or who I can speak to, whether you be foe or whether you be friend.
Our channels of communications are open, and we have had a consistent message that has urged restraint. And in recent days, we have conveyed directly to the Chinese at high levels that escalation is uncalled for. And so we'll continue to keep those channels.
Still on the foreign scene, the foreign ministers of Iran and Saudi Arabia, two bitter rivals in the Middle East, have held talks for the first time since 2016. Last month, the two nations agreed to restore diplomatic relations during lower-level talks also in China. Saudi Arabia reportedly cut ties in 2016 after crowds stormed its embassy in Tehran. This followed Riyadh's execution of a prominent Shia Muslim cleric. Tensions between the Sunni-led Saudi Arabia and Shia-led Iran have since often been high. They reportedly regard each other as a threatening power that seeks regional dominance. They also support rival sides across the Middle East, including in Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and most overtly in Yemen. Still to come in the news. Real Madrid beats Barcelona to reach Copa del Rey final. Do stay with us for more details after the break.
Business exists only to meet the needs of the people, but there's an extra advantage if your product and services are pitched on a platform that gives you the added advantage over your competitors. For your desired return on investment and so much more, advertise on Spectrum Television, on StarTime's DTH Channel 421 and on free-to-air with a frequency of 12733. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.
Thanks for staying tuned, and now to the rest of the news. In business, the federal government has announced $800 million grant from the World Bank, targeting 50 million vulnerable Nigerians or 10 million households as part of its subsidy palliative measures ahead of the planned subsidy removal in June 2023. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, gave the announcement after the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting chaired by President Buhari. Ahmed noted that engagements are ongoing with the newly established Presidential Transition Council (PTC) and the incoming administration to drive the palliative program, which includes the need for buses among various considerations. Still in business, the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board (NCDMB), Simbi Waboti, has performed the groundbreaking ceremony of a 7 billion naira pipe manufacturing plant at Polaku, Bayelsa State. Speaking at the event, the Executive Secretary commended the management of AS Energies Limited and its subsidiary on the successful takeoff of the construction work and the pipe manufacturing plant, noting that the project was in line with the mission statement of the NCDMB, which is to promote the development and utilization of in-country capacities for the industrialization of Nigeria through the effective implementation of the Nigerian Content Act. According to Waboti, the pipe manufacturing plant is a testament to the giant strides in local content drive in the country. He enjoined the company's management to explore available financing options to ensure that the project will be delivered on schedule. In health, a public health physician, Dr. Ramahat Odisahan, has warned that indoor use of stoves and firewood can expose children, especially those under the age of 5, to the risk of lung infection and respiratory diseases. The physician, who disclosed this during an interview, said that indoor air pollution can lead to pneumonia in children, charging parents to ensure that the use of anything that emits smoke should be done in an open, well-ventilated space. Odisan noted that pneumonia is one of the major killers of children but could be prevented through good nutrition and hygiene practices. Still in health, study has found that walking could help people keep a healthy weight, build stronger muscles and bones, and reduce their chances of developing diabetes, heart disease, and high blood pressure. The study revealed that those who walk 8,000 steps twice weekly stand the chance of living longer. The research also indicated that walking can be linked to a better mood. According to a study by Dr. Kusuki Ino of Kyoto University, Japan, in collaboration with researchers from the University of California, Los Angeles, United States, revealed that those who walked 8,000 steps or more a day had benefits to their cardiovascular systems. In sports, Karim Benzema scored a second-half hat-trick as Real Madrid routed Barcelona to reach the Copa del Rey final. Reports say trailing 1-0 from the first leg, Madrid leveled the tie through Vinicius Jr. in first-half stoppage time. Meanwhile, Benzema added 2 goals early in the second half, the second from the penalty spot, to put the visitors in control, and completed his hat-trick to seal the win in the 80th minute. The France striker got his third with 10 minutes remaining after a devastating Madrid counter, again led by Vinicius. The win was Benzema's second hat-trick in successive games after achieving the feat last Sunday against Real Valladolid. Still in sports, Newcastle hits 5 goals, defeating West Ham at London Stadium, piling the pressure on Hammers manager David Moyes. Reports say Callum Wilson and Joelinton put the visitors 2 ahead inside 15 minutes before Kurt Zouma pulled one back. The defeat leaves West Ham outside of the relegation zone on goal difference. Moyes' side is one of 4 teams on 27 points, alongside Everton, Nottingham Forest and 18th place Bournemouth. Newcastle remains third and is now 3 points clear of 5th place Tottenham with a game in hand, following a 4th successive win for Eddie Howe's side. We move now to entertainment, where multi-award-winning Benin's music legend Angelique Kidjo has become the 3rd African to win the prestigious Polar Music Prize. Reports say the Polar Music Prize, which is also tagged the Nobel Prize of Music, is a Swedish international award founded in 1989 by Steen Andersen. According to reports, Benin Republic's music legend Angelique Kidjo is the latest recipient of the music prize. Kidjo joins South Africa's Mariam Makeba and Senegalese Youssou as the only African to have won the prize in 2002 and 2013, respectively. In entertainment, Forbes Africa has published its annual 30 Under 30 list, which honors outstanding young business people, innovators, and leaders. This year's list features terms Iris Star, Asisat Oshola, Blessing Joel Abeng, and Chloe Koko Abiri. According to the managing editor of Forbes Africa, Renuka Mithiel, the finalists were chosen from a group of more than 1,000 candidates, which comprised prior Forbes Africa 30 Under 30 alumni, an editorial team led by Under 30 curator Chanel Retief, as well as a group of impartial external assessors and subject matter experts. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum TV News at 12. I am Uyai Anyekan. Thanks for watching and do enjoy the rest of your day.